Hey you folks, how's it going? My name is Lexi and I really love tabletop games. So much so that we sit down together once a week, every week, and we review one here at the gaming table. I try to keep these videos short, under 10 minutes, so we can both find our next game. If that sounds interesting to you, I encourage you to subscribe and keep watching. If you would really like to go the extra mile for the gaming table, there is a link in my description box to my Ko-Fi page where you can donate to the channel. I want to especially thank everyone who's donated to my Ko-Fi page. In cases like today, sometimes creators can only send me a digital copy of their game. So that I can review them, I get them printed and bound locally. The funds from my Ko-Fi page go towards covering this expense. I've also started to put a small thank you at the end of each of my videos for everyone who's donated in the previous month. I also want to thank Ultima Vila, who reached out to me with a game to review. I always really appreciate being sent a game to review. Not only do I feel really trusted that someone thinks I'll give their game a fair review, but it can often mean I get to review games that might have flown under the radar for me otherwise. If you've made a game and you want to see it on the gaming table, you can reach out to me using the email address in my description box below. I will admit I do have quite a few games to review, so there is a bit of a backlog, but I'm always at least keen to hear what you've been working on. So let's dive into today's review. From Ultima Vila, this is Summer Myth Hunt. In this game, players take on the role of supernatural beings who've emerged from the underworld to overhear summer campfire stories. In these stories are potential new myths and a source of power, Imaginarium. This substance, Imaginarium, is multi-purpose and sought out by many. In Summer Myth Hunt, these characters are competing to collect the most myths. Some of whom wish to collect Imaginarium, others who wish to have the myth for its own sake. Each of these different types of myth hunters is called an alliance. Your character could be an experimental wizard, someone who harnesses Imaginarium for their inventions and trinkets. There's the protector of old, someone who sees myths as important to the world. The myth weaver, who sees myths as being able to expand the capabilities of reality. And then there's the collector of the trade guild. The collector doesn't really care about the myths or the Imaginarium. They're just trying to get enough of it so they can retire and never leave their home again. To play this game, you'll also need a game master who will take on the role of a referee. Not only does your alliance tell you what your character looks like, but it also provides you your beginning stats, as well as some interesting abilities or pieces of equipment that might help them in the hunt. By the end of the game, I believe you are trying to be the character with the most myths. The thing the players do is select an alliance. This will determine their starting stat. The main ones to look out for are breath and essence. Breath is sort of your character's resources to do anything. Not only do you need breath to act, but you can convert it into Imaginarium, into essence, and potentially sometimes you can convert Imaginarium back to breath as needed. Sometimes to determine whether or not a character succeeds, you'll need to roll a d6 for them. If you get a 4 to 6, you succeed, a 2 to 3 is a failure, and a 1 is a failure where your character also loses a point of essence. You use this essence while hunting myths. You use a betting system to guess what attributes the myth has. At the end of the round, the player who has got the bet that's closest to the myth wins the myth. There's actually a lot of things you can do with a myth. You might harness it, keep it. You also can use it and convert it into Imaginarium. There is also the option to consume the myth. This is quite a controversial move in the world of the game. Something I'm not quite sure about with the mechanics for this game is what is the end condition for the game. There's a step-by-step process outlined on how to play the game, and it says if no one has won a myth in that round, you go back and do another round. I perhaps have just missed it, but I'm not sure when the game ends. It might be when a character has got enough myths or Imaginarium, or maybe it's after a certain number of rounds. I think I might have just missed that detail somewhere. I guess in my ideal world, that numerical list includes what you do to end the game. This game's themes really straddle the light and the dark. The idea of collecting myths and substances from stories told around a campfire is whimsical, but there's a few darker elements like the myth weaver who just seems to hunt the myths, and the collector who is just here for the paycheck. I do like the items that give the different alliances different abilities. They change up the mechanics and that makes it a bit of an interesting time to play. I think in terms of replayability for this game, you could get a couple of goes at it with different players trying out different alliances. If you like the sound of this game, particularly its concept, then I think this is going to be one well worth picking up. This game's available for $4 on itch.io. I do wish there were more options to purchase a physical copy somewhere. The art is so pretty and I'm just hoping my print-on-demand version has done it justice. So that is Summer Myth Hunt. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Which alliance do you like the sound of? While you're there, feel free to like this video and perhaps even share it with a friend who might find it interesting. If you want to keep up with the gaming table, feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications. That way YouTube will tell you when I've next uploaded. If you would really like to help out the gaming table, there is a link in my description box to my Ko-Fi page where you can donate to the channel. This is really helpful, especially for cases like today where I was needing to get the game printed and bound. So thank you to everyone who has donated. I also want to say thank you again to Ultima Vila for giving me a copy of Summer Myth Hunt. If you have a game that you've made and you want to see it on the gaming table, please feel free to reach out to me using the email address in my description box below. While there is a bit of a backlog, I'm always keen to hear what people have been working on. I want to thank you all again for watching and discussing Summer Myth Hunt with me. Interacting with these videos is a huge help as it gets the channel more attention on the CEO of the algorithm. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all well, and I look forward to seeing you next time at the gaming table. Bye!